You did not arrive here by accident. The gentle wisdom of your body demanded to remember what it was created for. This moment, this very breath, is not a trivial pause in your day. It is a return to a sacred inheritance, waiting at the threshold of your awareness. There exists a movement as ancient as the earliest spark of human life, timeless and as ubiquitous as the breaking dawn. It requires neither gym memberships nor equipment. Its power does not reside in force, but in presence and intent. If practiced, it becomes the mysterious threshold between youth and age, strength and limitation, vitality and stagnation. The world has almost forgotten it, distracted by the lure of comfort and the illusion of ease. Yet, your body remembers. The deep squat is the primordial act, a silent ritual that tells every cell, you are still awake. Modern existence has exiled this gesture from our daily script, turning what was once an instinctive motion into a relic. Some now view the squat with suspicion, believing it risky or irrelevant. But the true danger does not lie in the act itself, but in losing the capacity for it. Aging is not marked only upon our faces. It takes root when we abandon the native patterns encoded in us by nature, patterns now buried beneath layers of convenience and neglect. Visualize a child, deep in absorbed play, spontaneously dropping into a perfect squat. Their heels press into the ground, their spine rises effortlessly, breath flows easily. This is not athletic ambition. It is the body's own forgotten poetry. Each one of us was born with this wisdom dancing in our bones, a pre-verbal genius woven into our first years. It never asked to be taught. It only begged to be remembered. But as years pass, we trade ground for cushions, motion for stillness, responding to daily routines that gradually dim our original movement. We bend our backs to reach the earth, instead of folding at our hips. Rising becomes an act of calculation, hands searching for support. Steps grow tentative, knees ache, confidence ebbs away. Day by day, the ease of movement dulls, until one day, moving freely seems unattainable. This is the true onset of aging, not when the calendar tells us so, but when the conversation between body and gravity is interrupted. The deep squat is not just a posture. It is a primal declaration, an affirmation to life itself that you can descend, support yourself, and rise. In this episode, you are being called to recover that declaration for yourself. You will learn why 99% of people overlook this forgotten movement, and why today, you are among the few reclaiming their birthright. Long before chairs, soft sofas, and the modern comforts of today, humanity lived in close communion with the earth. Life unfolded near the ground where people cooked over fire, gathered food, rested beneath trees, and shared stories in circles. The posture most commonly adopted in all these moments was not the seated position that dominates today, but the deep squat, feet firmly planted, hips lowered, and spine held upright with grace and ease. This posture was more than convenience. In many cultures, it was a symbol of connection to the very essence of life. Among the indigenous peoples of Africa and the Americas, squatting was integral to daily work, storytelling, and ritual ceremonies. It was never misunderstood as exercise, but lived as a natural act of being, embodying humility and rootedness to Mother Earth herself. Travel east to Asia, and the story deepens. In China, India, and Japan, the deep squat remained a cornerstone of daily life, well into recent history. Meals were shared in this posture, Conversations happened while squatting, and rest was taken near the earth's embrace. But beyond practicality, the squat carried energetic significance. Traditions such as yoga teach that squatting activates the lower chakras, energy centers responsible for vitality and balance. By descending with the spine erect, practitioners allow vital energy, prana or chi, to flow freely upward, harmonizing body and spirit. Even in ancient Western cultures, the deep squat was not lost to time. Greek philosophers recognized the profound relationship between movement and the health of both body and soul. Hippocrates, known as the father of medicine, extolled movement's importance, famously stating, "A lack of activity destroys the good condition of every human being, while movement and methodical physical exercise save it and preserve it." Although he did not explicitly reference the squat, the implied message remains clear. The ability to lower oneself and rise again is a testament to strength, longevity, and life. Yet, as time marched on, modernization distanced us from the earth. Chairs replaced the squat, bringing stiffness and frailty in their wake. We lost touch with the wisdom encoded in our bones and muscles. Today, in many industrialized societies, elders struggle to perform a full deep squat, while traditional rural communities maintain this practice and preserve mobility and vitality well into old age. The deep squat, then, is more than posture. It is a profound philosophical teaching encoded in human movement. It symbolizes humility and resilience, the power to descend and then rise again. Each time you practice it, you are not only exercising muscles, you are cultivating your spirit in the art of renewal and transformation. Most people think of youth as something painted on the surface of the body. Smooth skin, bright eyes, a certain glow in the face. But the truest marker of youth is not what appears in the mirror. It is how your body moves through space. The ability to lower yourself toward the ground and rise again with ease, to keep your spine upright and your joints free, is a direct reflection of inner vitality. Here, the deep squat reveals its secret identity as an anti-aging ritual disguised as a simple movement. Physically, the deep squat is a symphony involving almost every system in the body. As you descend, your glutes, quadriceps, and hamstrings awaken and share the load. Your hips and ankles open, rediscovering ranges of motion that daily sitting quietly erased. Your core engages to stabilize the spine, turning your torso into an active, intelligent column of support instead of a passive structure. Blood flow increases, delivering nourishment to tissues that have been dulled by long hours of stillness. What looks like a basic bend of the knees is, in truth, a full-body awakening and a subtle restoration of structural youth. Beneath the surface, deeper transformations unfold. With each mindful squat, gentle waves of pressure and release move through your abdomen, massaging your internal organs from within. Digestion is stimulated, elimination becomes more efficient, and your diaphragm gains space to move. Your breath deepens almost on its own, improving oxygen exchange and calming your nervous system. The body is not simply working out, it is recalibrating itself, like an old instrument being carefully tuned back to resonance. Ancient healing traditions intuited this power long before modern science tried to name it. In many cultures, movement patterns similar to the deep squat were recommended not to sculpt the body, but to keep life force circulating without obstruction. Strength was a side effect. The real goal was longevity, clarity, and inner balance. On the spiritual plane, The deep squat becomes a living metaphor. Each descent is an act of humility, a conscious return to the earth that birthed you. Each ascent is an act of resurrection, a choice to rise from that place of surrender with renewed clarity. When you squat with awareness, you rehearse the eternal pattern that shapes seasons and cycles: descent, transformation, and rebirth. You are no longer just exercising. You are embodying the timeless story of falling and rising again, the same story that defines growth in every realm of life. By now, you feel that the deep squat is far more than a mechanical exercise. It is a mirror. The moment you try to hold the posture, you confront not only your physical limits, but also your habits, fears, and resistance. The burning in your thighs, the tightness in your hips, the trembling in your ankles, these are messages. Your body is speaking in the only language it knows: sensation. Struggling with a deep squat is not natural. It is cultural. The human body was designed to live close to the ground. Children everywhere drop into a perfect squat, without thinking, without warming up, without hesitation. Only after years of chairs and screens does this basic posture feel foreign or dangerous. What we call stiffness is often the accumulated price of an unnatural way of living. Here, the deep squat becomes a teacher. It reveals that we have not grown rigid only because time passes, but because we abandoned the movements that kept us free. Comfort has a hidden cost. The objects that promise ease slowly weaken the structures that protect our independence. When you return to the squat, discomfort appears first. But discomfort is not the enemy. It is the medicine that shows exactly where your body needs attention and renewal. There is also a subtle energetic shift. Modern life pulls energy into the head, into thoughts, worries, and constant noise. The deep squat calls that energy back down. As you sink toward the earth, your awareness drops from your mind into your hips and feet. You feel heavier, but in a good way. More grounded, more present, less scattered. Your nervous system receives a signal of stability. Gravity stops feeling like an opposing force and becomes support. Emotionally, this posture can be intense. Many people feel agitation or anxiety when they stay in the squat. The body stores memories in muscles and joints, especially around the pelvis. When you remain, breathe, and soften, those tensions start to rise. It may feel like discomfort, but it is actually release. Every extra second you stay is an act of courage. You sit with what you normally avoid and allow it to move. In the end, the deep squat does not ask, "How low can you go?" It asks, "Are you willing to meet yourself honestly, exactly where you are?" Each time you return to this movement, even for a few breaths, you send a quiet message through your entire being. I am willing to grow through discomfort. I am reclaiming the movement that protects my freedom and keeps me truly alive. Understanding the deep squat intellectually is one thing. Living it is entirely different. The gap between knowing and doing is where transformation actually happens. You can read 1,000 articles about the benefits of squatting, but nothing changes until your body remembers the movement for itself. This is the moment where philosophy becomes flesh, where ancient wisdom becomes your own experience. The journey back to the deep squat does not demand perfection. It demands only consistency and gentleness with yourself. Start where you are. If today you can only descend a few inches before discomfort rises, that is your starting point. There is no shame in this. Your body is simply telling you the truth of where it currently lives. Each day you practice, each time you return to the posture even briefly, you send a signal to your muscles, joints, and nervous system. This pattern matters again. One of the most practical ways to integrate the squat is to make it part of your daily life, rather than treating it as a separate exercise. When you pick something up from the floor, squat instead of bending your spine. When you want to rest, try holding the posture for a few conscious breaths instead of immediately reaching for a chair. When you sit on the ground with family or friends, notice how your body responds. These small moments accumulate. Your hips and ankles gradually open. Your confidence in your own movement quietly returns. Breathing is essential. Many people hold their breath during the squat, which creates tension and struggle. Instead, breathe naturally and deeply. Let your diaphragm expand. With each exhale, invite your body to relax a little deeper into the position. Breathing transforms the squat from a test of endurance into a meditation, a conversation between you and the earth. You might also consider using the squat as a moment of genuine stillness in your day. Place your hands on your heart or in prayer position. Close your eyes if it feels safe. Notice what arises. Thoughts, sensations, emotions. Do not judge them. Simply observe. This turns the physical practice into a spiritual one. You are not just exercising. You are listening to yourself. Most importantly, celebrate every small victory. You held the squat 3 seconds longer today than yesterday. You sank 1 centimeter deeper. Your knees felt less strain. These are not trivial. They are proof that your body is remembering. They are evidence that you are reclaiming your birthright of movement, freedom, and dignity. Trust the process. Your dedication is rewriting your future. We have journeyed through the forgotten wisdom of the deep squat, from its ancient roots to its profound power today. What began as a simple question, why does 99% of humanity ignore this movement, has revealed something far deeper. The deep squat is not merely an exercise. It is a return to wholeness, a reclamation of the body's original intelligence, and proof of your commitment to living with vitality and freedom. The secret hidden in plain sight is this: you do not need expensive treatments, miracle supplements, or complicated routines to stay young. You need only remember. Remember the posture that kept your ancestors mobile and strong. Remember the movement that connects you to the earth. Remember that your body is not a machine to be conquered, but a living intelligence to be honored. Every time you squat, you are rewriting your future. You are telling your nervous system that you are safe, grounded, and capable. You are opening the channels through which energy flows. You are releasing emotions locked in your hips and lower body. You are participating in the eternal rhythm of descent and ascent, surrender and rising that defines all of life. The deeper truth is this: people who maintain mobility and independence into old age are not those with perfect genetics or expensive gyms. They are the ones who never abandoned basic human movement patterns. They are the ones who stayed close to the ground. They are the ones who trusted their bodies. By returning to the deep squat, you join an ancient lineage of people who understood that the body, when honored, becomes a source of boundless vitality. This is your invitation, not to become a perfect athlete or achieve some idealized form, but simply to remember. Show up on the ground, even for a few breaths, and let your body recall what it has always known. The cost is almost nothing. The rewards are immeasurable. Freedom from pain, independence in movement, confidence in your own strength, and a profound reconnection with the earth and with yourself. The question is no longer whether the deep squat works. The question is whether you will commit to it, whether you will dedicate even minutes daily to this ancient practice, whether you will trust that the answer to your longing for vitality lies not in the future, but in returning to what is most fundamental and most true. Begin today. With this very breath, with this very squat, you step into mastery. Your body has been waiting for your return. Welcome home.